from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my left is Scholar Tarek.
Hello, people of the internet wrestling community. How are all of you? And how are you, fool?
What on earth was that voice?
I don't know.
And currently fighting off some sort of malady, Scholar Brian.
What's that smell? It's not me. It's the smell of a rotten pay-per-view.
What's that smell? Wild yams. That's nice.
Yeah, but until we get to the other big points that came from this week in wrestling news, let's jump right into... We're not actually going to break tradition here. We're not going to go right into backstage news. We're going to go into this past weekend's WWE Fastlane.
Do we really have to?
For the sake of completion, we do. It's not going to last forever. So let's just get right into it. It's going to go fast.
Oh, puns.
Puns. Anyway, let's start with something that's not so funny. On the pre-show, we had Kalisto beating Alberto Del Rio in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the U.S. title.
I'll say this.
Okay, you can go first.
I'll say this, okay? For a pre-show match, this was pretty good. This was all right.
I'm actually surprised that this match was on the pre-show.
Especially with what came later in the show.
We'll get to that.
But
yes, we will.
For a pre-show match and for the participants, especially after the match that they had at the Royal Rumble, that was botch-tastic, botchamania through and through. This was pretty good.
It actually was a very good story that they told through and through, and that's the one thing I love about 2 out of 3 falls matches. Is that they definitely add a lot of story into it just because they have the time to build onto it. Mm-hmm. With Del Rio using the steel chair to have his first loss, but he used it to his advantage and had him gain the second pinfall.
Mm-hmm. It's classic.
I'm just like, that's just genius.
It works.
And of course, yes, Brian, it was a lot less botchamania friendly. And it was very it worked. I actually really like this match.
The only problem I had with this match was all the stuffs. I counted 6. I counted 6 variations of the Alberto Del Rio double leg stomp.
And as we talked about it last week, we're getting really sick of that move. So. Wait, was it really 6 times?
I counted 6 variations of it.
That's 6 too many, man.
That's 5 too many. You need one.
This was a great match. Hopefully it actually ends this feud, and Kalisto can move on to other title defenses against other opponents.
Give me Kalisto versus Neville.
That would be interesting.
At WrestleMania.
I'm sure
Give
it's
it
in
to
the
me.
cards. I'm sure it's in the cards. In the meantime, what we got first on the actual show, we've got Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks going over Team Bad.
This gave me joy. It did. This was the best Divas match on the card. It was. And
yes, it was.
And it did exactly what it set out to do. Okay? Mm-hmm. It set out to put Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks over. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we can now set up what's going into WrestleMania, which will probably turn out to be a triple threat match for the Divas Championship.
It's going that way. I think we all know it.
So this set out to prove exactly what it needed to prove, that these two females are neck and neck, and either one can become Divas Champion at any time.
What I liked about this match was, yes, it set up Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch to the point where we're eventually going to get a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Looking forward to it. But it also was just a good way for Sasha Banks to close the door of Team Bad. It was nothing against Naomi and Tamina. They did a very good job as well. And this was a pretty entertaining feud to what's the best term? Put the Divas Championship on hold because they wanted to fill it with Brie Bella, and we'll get into that later.
I gotta say though, is that promo beforehand? Stop it! I don't need any more unity. I don't.
It was
I don't,
cute for the first couple weeks, but
yeah, they're going overboard, and
well, it's obviously it's now over. I mean, you can't really split up Naomi and Tamina. They're family now.
no,
they're family now, and it's also, what are they gonna do?
Now it's
They need to be this tag team, because what else do they got?
not
really.
much.
really, when you just look at it, the Divas division right now is just the 3 women that are actually eventually going to go for the women's. I wish it was the women's title, the Divas title at WrestleMania.
I'm convinced it'll change eventually, but for the moment, with the way things are going, things are looking up.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where's Paige?
Where is Paige?
Wow, I
honestly have no idea.
Is she? Oh yeah, isn't she injured?
that would have been news to me.
You know what? If she's injured, makes sense with what's going with all the injuries.
Either way,
right now.
we knew that a horsewoman match was in the cards anyway. Might as well be now.
And I think we're probably going to get all 4 horsewomen by SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, you'll have the Fatal 4-Way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is something to look forward to.
Oh yeah, big
but
time.
yeah, for this match, it was a very entertaining match. I liked it, and now we get on to bigger and better things, especially with Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of bigger and better things, Kevin Owens beats Dolph Ziggler for the IC title.
It was good. Okay, with the caveat that I've seen it over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. There was nothing new in this match. It was good. It was a good match. It was what you expect from these two. But first of all, I'm over Dolph Ziggler. I don't need him in any title hunts anymore, because you know at this point that he's not gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and Dolph Ziggler's here to be a selling machine, and that's getting old for me. Okay, so you knew going in that Kevin Owens was gonna win. Okay, this match in my mind went on longer than it needed to, and it was just, I've seen it. They get the same amount of time on Raw and SmackDown, and they face each other. In the lead up to this pay-per-view, they faced each other every Raw, every SmackDown.
Trading wins.
One-on-one, trading wins. And I'm like, I'm done.
Well, now it's reached... Well, now it's also reached the point that now the Intercontinental title was on the line. They were just fighting for the sake of fighting. And now that they had something to fight for, it actually added a little more intrigue. Yet, it's still the fact that we all knew Kevin Owens was going to win. It was just the fact on how they told the story in the ring. And for me, it was still they've had it, but it was still entertaining for me. I liked it, and same thing with Del Rio and Kalisto. This hopefully will be the end of the story that is Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler, especially since whatever we gonna do with Kevin Owens and the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
I know exactly what you're gonna do with Kevin Owens. He teased it on Twitter, saying, if AJ Styles comes anywhere near my Intercontinental Championship, I'm gonna do to him what I did at the Royal Rumble. And so you get there's a couple different options here. You get the one-on-one with Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental title. Or, I don't recommend this. You could, just because he needs a spot on the card, you could make it a triple threat.
With Chris Jericho?
With Chris Jericho. You know he won't win, but he comes in... He came in, everyone thought that it was going to be Jericho versus Ambrose at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. So if you were gonna throw him in the Intercontinental title picture to begin with, before realizing that Dean Ambrose is as over as he is, okay, then why not?
You know what? With you, I was actually expecting it to lead up to a triple threat match at Mania as well, but you gotta admit, the microphone work between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho building up for this event. Yeah.
You got two masters of the craft right there.
You get Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho with the mic work, You get AJ Styles just
Being
doing
phenomenal.
his thing, doing his phenomenal wrestling, and it's a recipe for success. Which means the WWE will fuck it up. That's it.
As long as Owens and company will not, I'm sure we'll be able to produce something decent.
Yeah,
at the very least.
But still, this match was good. It's just I'm burned out.
Well,
I'm burned out on Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler, so
Which is
I wasn't
why we're
as
moving on.
I
Which is
wasn't
like I said, this is probably the bookend to their feud.
because the build up to this was horrible. Okay, the build
It had no build.
It was a placeholder.
it was
no
you don't have them fight each other one-on-one every show between the Royal Rumble and Fastlane and expect me to give a damn when you finally get a one-on-one on pay-per-view for a title that you basically shotgunned on the Kevin Owens, not in a bad way, but you shotgunned it 6 days before to give them something to do on Fastlane. I'm like, it's still Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. It's still that. I'm done. Get it out, and now we can move on. And so normally it would be a great match, but I'm bringing it down to good because it was technically good, but I'm bored.
For me, I'm going to give it better viewing than you did, just because these two know how to tell a great story in the ring, and that's exactly what they did. And I liked when people tell good stories in the ring, and that's exactly what it was. So yeah, great. I think it was a great match.
Yeah. It was requisite.
And
was
it's a good way to
both
end
guys. Yeah, it's the end.
My only friend, the end.
Speaking of things that really have gone on for too long, we got Big Show, Kane, and Ryback defeating the Wyatt family.
Yeah,
What was this?
2 weeks is too long for this feud. That's it.
I have to say this. This was the one point of the event that I just got legit pissed.
I actually thought, at the time, that wasn't supposed to be the finish. I thought that Luke Harper had gotten legit screwed up on that shell shock because he landed square on the elbow.
Yes, he
and
did.
and then the elbow's just hanging, and you see him. He doesn't even try to kick out. He doesn't. The other arm doesn't move. The left arm is just hanging out there, and then he runs to the back.
Well, what's even worse is now you know that was meant to happen.
Yeah, and I'm like, why couldn't you do what you did on Raw on the pay-per-view?
What was... Apparently, this whole thing was made to build up Ryback
Yeah, why?
at the cost of the Wyatt family, a stable that people have been behind for a long time, and WWE just doesn't know how to book them correctly.
Make them look like fools, really.
Yeah, and not in the good way, fools. Fool.
In this case, there is
I mean,
no
Braun
way to
Strowman,
look like
you're building up Braun Strowman. Vince McMahon, it's reported, wants to build up Braun Strowman to be this unstoppable juggernaut. And then he gets taken out by the Big Show. What?
This whole, it's just... I'm just tired of having the Wyatts being put into a quote-unquote big feud and just always coming up on the losing end. We want to see this group succeed. They've been around for 3 years now, and none of them, other than Luke Harper, has won a title. But Luke Harper won the title on his own, and really kind of...
And it
wasn't really it really wasn't anything.
He held it for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm just sick and tired of having these guys look like fools.
At the expense for Ryback, why?
The man botched his finishing move at almost the cost of Luke Harper, a phenomenal talent. Hell, I'll even say that the Wyatt family, as the group, is a phenomenal talent. Because I can't say the same for Braun Strowman, and Eric Rowan's slowly getting there. Slowly.
Yeah. Eric Rowan just looks the way he does just because he's standing next to everyone else.
And Bray Wyatt is just, by himself, he is the complete package.
You have completely ruined the Wyatt family in one blow. You can come back from losing to The Undertaker and Kane at Survivor Series.
You can come back to
can come back. Bray Wyatt can come back from losing all of his major feuds. Okay, you can come back from that. But to be... You were looking into going up against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania based on the Royal Rumble. Okay, now this is just another example of WWE nerfing the booking. Because you're gonna get something good out of what they booked for Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. You're gonna get something amazing out of that. Okay, but just to scrap booking plans and have them lose
to two guys who are almost a footstep out the door, and a guy who gets little to no reaction from the crowd.
And he injures everybody. He's the reason that CM Punk is gone. Okay? He's the reason you almost lost Luke Harper. And he's reckless. He's reckless, and he's going to break someone's neck. And then, and only then, will the WWE learn.
I just hope that they have something in mind for the family at Mania.
They better, but you know
what?
There's
the Battle Royal.
Hey, there's only one way to tell at this point. We still have plenty of time. So, hey, I don't like any more than you do, but we'll have to see where all this crap goes.
What did you think of the match?
Honestly, I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad.
The ending, I'm just going to keep repeating ourselves now. It made no sense. I'm sick and tired of the way the Wyatts are being treated. They have the capacity to offer so much more and be much bigger figureheads on the show. And for such a hastily thrown together team, I didn't like it. It was terrible. Anyway, like I said, we're just repeating. I'm just mirroring your guys' thoughts at this point. In the meantime, we still have more matches to go, including for the Divas Championship, Charlotte beating Brie Bella. Again,
this doesn't help my mood. This pay-per-view. The match was okay going into the ending. Mm-hmm. It was okay up until that point. But what in the blue hell was that ending?
Apparently,
here's how bad this ending is, okay? When they're doing the replay and the announcers have to read the script and actually explain what's happening, that's when you know that something went horribly wrong. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I was never into this match, and obviously, because if you people listening to the show know, and for all the new people who don't know, I have a huge dislike for the Bella Twins. I've always hated the Bella Twins, and there's nothing that can ever turn them on my good side. The one thing and just the fact that I like don't like Brie Bella is one thing. It's the fact that it's not even just really Brie Bella that was part of this feud. It feels like they were facing, the match wasn't about Brie Bella. It was about Daniel Bryan's wife. It was about Nikki Bella's sister. All the focus was not about Brie Bella.
And that's how we should have known that, I
that's
should have known.
That's the problem with Brie Bella, period, at this point. That's all she is anymore.
She's a replica of her sister and Daniel Bryan. That's it. So she goes into Brie mode, and then she starts emulating Daniel Bryan. That's it. And she botches Daniel Bryan's moveset.
Hell, she was wearing Daniel Bryan's furry kick
thing.
pads.
Now, I wasn't into this match at all to begin with, but I had to sit up and take notice at this ending. Okay? because I blame Charlotte just as much as I blame Brie Bella for the ending, okay? Because she gets put in the S-lock, okay? Then they play it off like her knee can't hold it because Charlotte's been working the knee the entire match. So I'm like, okay, I'm in. Then she switches to a single leg crab, okay? And Charlotte has nowhere to go. She can't make the ropes. And Ric Flair is yelling at Brie Bella, "What about Daniel Bryan? What about Daniel? What about that?" It's cartoonish at this point. And then after that, I don't know what happened. Did her knee give out? Or did she just let go of the hold and fling herself into the ropes?
Oh, it looks like after my second viewing, it just looked like Brie was just getting distracted by Ric Flair to an extent that it gave Charlotte the opportunity to force her way out of the single crab.
But here's what pisses me off.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Charlotte, no sells. The 2 submission finishers that she was in for over 2 minutes. No sells. How do you flip it into the figure 8 when you've just been in a Boston Crab, in a single leg crab, for over a minute and a half? Okay, and then she's dancing up the ramp, and I got flashbacks of John Cena. Okay, and this was the worst I've seen Charlotte in a long time. I'm like, come on. At least act like you've just been in 2 submission holds for over 2 minutes. Yeah. Come on. I don't care that it's Brie Bella that you're fucking with. Okay, and you still gotta put on a good match.
Just shows how much Charlotte was actually in this match. She wasn't. She didn't
about
care.
as much as
and you know what?
Else.
You know what? That makes her look bad. That makes her look bad, and it makes me not like her even more than I already don't.
That's sad.
Because even if you're up against a shitty opponent, okay, at least make it look like you give a shit.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully this is just leading into a much, much bigger effort come next this WrestleMania.
Oh, of course it's going to be.
It better be.
You better.
I know.
Anyway.
It's 3 people who know each other very well. So there is no doubt in my mind that this triple threat match is going to flop in any way, shape, or form.
Speaking of which, let's move on to, personally, my match of the night. AJ Styles going over Chris Jericho.
And I will second that. It was my match of the night as well.
In technical wrestling, it is my match of the night. I have a caveat for later on.
Okay.
But this was everything I wanted it to be. They came up with new stuff. Okay, this is how to book a feud where you do multiple one-on-one matches. Okay? Every match had something new. And when you go up on pay-per-view, they pulled out all the stops. Like, when have you ever seen Chris Jericho do his springboard dropkick on the top rope? Not not actually hitting someone. He kicked the rope out from underneath AJ Styles. I was like, when have you ever seen him do that? When have you ever seen that? I was like, this is great. And then AJ Styles trying to springboard to the outside, and Chris Jericho showing he's still got hops. All right, actually nails him in the nipple with the drop kick. I looked. It was definitely square in the nipple.
Yes, it was. I agree. It really was.
It really was in the nipple.
Oh, my nipple.
And of course, when you want to put over a submission hold, okay, go to the master.
Seriously. Yes, I agree.
I love the way you sold that, by the way.
That was
when AJ Styles put Jericho in the calf crusher. Oh my God, Jericho sold that like a champion.
I like that he didn't tap out right away.
I love the tease. It was beautiful.
Like, masterfully done.
That was...
And then he was just like, yep, I got to.
And then you got people on the internet all pissed off that he kicked out of the Styles Clash. I was like, we're here to put over a submission finisher.
Yeah, that wasn't his finisher.
This actually makes him more dangerous because he has two ways to take you out. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's got the Styles Clash, and if that for some reason doesn't work, he is right in position to hook you in the calf crusher. Mm-hmm. Okay,
you wanted to say killer so bad.
I did.
Yes,
I wanted to say it, but calf crusher works just the same. Okay, because it's like
not very PG.
He goes for the pin.
PG enough.
He goes for the
killer's
pin.
not PG. I know.
He hits the Styles Clash, goes for the pin. Jericho kicks out, but AJ Styles is in the correct position to just lock in the calf crusher. And then what the hell's Jericho gonna do? He's gonna try.
Like a champ.
He's gonna try, but he's got nowhere to go. And once again you want to put over a submission finisher, go to the master.
Mm-hmm. And that he did, absolutely.
This was great.
Yes.
There's nothing more that can be said.
This was everything I wanted.
Match of the night.
This was truly phenomenal.
Oh, snap. And we go from a phenomenal match to the P-break match. Curtis Axel beating R-Truth.
First,
what the hell was this match doing on this event?
P-break match.
First.
That's all it was.
Okay, before we get into that. Okay, this was the first time an Edge and Christian segment I was like, get off my TV.
Oh my God, yeah.
That was
Edge and Christian versus the New Day, and then eventually it became Edge, Christian, and the New Day versus the League of Nations.
This made no sense.
In the what is it, the Cutting Edge Peep Show?
Yeah, I'm
my God.
They're doing this to hype up their new show, and it did something completely different. It made me not want to watch. I watched it. It was hit and miss, as these shows are, but this made... I was excited to watch it after the pay-per-view. But after this pissed me off enough to be... I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I do not give a damn about this. And what happens the next night? Nothing.
Yeah, seriously, what was the point of this whole segment? It's just Edge and Christian trying to mic battle the New Day, which was intriguing, I can say, and then Edge finally, what was it, what did they call him? Chocolate that was trying to be too much vanilla?
No, they were like, I've never seen so much chocolate be so vanilla.
That's right. That's what it was. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, all right, I don't know how to take this, but ha 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 ha. And then all of a sudden, it's like the New Day started going on about how they've beaten everyone every tag team on the roster, and I'm just
I was so waiting Enzo and Cass to come out.
Exactly. I was like, ooh, nice build up. And then they started talking about the League of Nations, and I'm just like, oh no.
Wasted potential.
It's like, oh no, they're really going to bring out the League of Nations? And what they brought out the League of Nations, and apparently the League of Nations is so boring to even the WWE wrestlers. The New Day is like, yeah, you guys aren't worth it. We're just going to walk out. And Edge and Christian's like, yeah, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to walk out. Oh, wait. Now that we're away from you and we're on the ramp,
we're going to dance. And I'm going to
make it look like we're making fart noises.
Yeah. The New Day's got to dance, and Edge has got to make it rain on Kofi's ass. What?
This segment turned sour.
Like,
that pun wasn't even intended.
I wasn't going to go there.
No, I actually was not intending it to be like that. But yeah, it really did leave me sour.
Yeah.
Because no one felt the power.
There was no power.
And then segment. I was like, okay, now we can get on to the main event. You can bring me back. There is a shot that you can bring me back. And then the Social Outcasts come out. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Did Vince McMahon forget that he was booking a pay-per-view at this point in time? It's like, did he think? What did he think he was booking? It was like, this match has no point.
It just is continuing to add insult to injury on my disdain for the Social Outcasts and the whole storyline with Goldust and R-Truth. I hate
this.
both.
Is making Goldust out to be a bigger moron than R-Truth is. You throw Adam Rose into the ring? Why?
Honestly,
what sense does that make?
The whole match in general has no logic. This should have been on the pre-show. They should never have announced a match for the pre-show and just had this stupidity on it. I hated every second of this. Oh my god, this was
bad, folks.
This was
real bad.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Waste of time.
I'm beyond this.
And I'm this match in general pisses me off more than the Survivor Series pay-per-view and the Extreme Rules pay-per-view from last year.
Okay,
just this match being no,
I won't go that extreme.
Just this match being on pay-per-view pisses me off more than Survivor Series did, and Survivor Series pissed me off.
If anything, I would say it's just right below that, like that level of frustration and anger. Because I don't think they would have to do a lot to have me reach a boiling point than when I did when I came to Survivor Series 2015.
Oh, I reached it. I woke up my godson from yelling and screaming at the TV, and his parents were not happy at me.
All right, come on, let's move on to the main event. This is hurting.
Main event: Roman Reigns beat Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar. Pretty predictable.
Pretty predictable, but it was the most fun I had watching this pay-per-view up until the ending.
Did anyone else, when you saw Dean Ambrose take Brock Lesnar to the corner and started punching him and Brock Lesnar was just looking at him, did anyone else just think super dude? When he has a bunch of muggers punching at his stomach and chest and you just see him going while they're just punching away at him. That's exactly what I got when I saw Brock Lesnar just look at Dean Ambrose like, are you kidding me? Suplex, bitch.
Just watch. He pulls a Kurt Angle and brings a giant milk truck to Brock Lesnar. It's like, no, I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, jeez.
The story of this match. Okay, while the ending was completely predictable, you knew coming in exactly what was going to happen, but the story of Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose realizing that
the only way they
can win is if they take out Brock Lesnar. So Brock Lesnar comes out, dominates everybody, kills everyone dead, and up until a point when he has Dean Ambrose up and Roman Reigns hits a spear. Doesn't even go for a pin. Just hits a spear, takes everybody out. And then they bring him out to the outside of the ring, put him through a table with the powerbomb. Okay, they're out of the ring. He's out of it for now.
Don't forget, it was Dean Ambrose's low blow that got Brock Lesnar going, oh, okay, my defenses are down. You can attack me.
So they put him through the table, and then Dean Ambrose is like, all right, and goes straight into beating the crap out of Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. And then they see
Brock getting up.
They see Brock getting up. They stop everything they're doing. Immediately go back out, put him through the second table, dump all the shit, dump everything on top of him, and then Roman Reigns returns the favor to Dean Ambrose.
No, wait, you forgot. They powerbombed him through a second table.
I did say that.
No, did he? Did he say it?
I said they powerbombed him through, and then they dumped all the crap. And then they dumped all the crap on him.
All I heard was Brock Lesnar getting up, and they threw a bunch of crap on him. That is all I heard.
So they got 2 tables, dump a bunch of crap.
Who else was hoping that they would go number 3? They complete the.
They go first they went number 1, then they went number 2,
so who else was hoping that they would put him through the third table?
I was hoping, but I
figured reach a turkey of tables.
I figured it was about the 20-minute mark when that happened, so I figured, okay, they're going to start wrapping it up. I hadn't looked at the time, didn't realize that, hey, there's still 20 minutes left of this pay-per-view.
Oh dear.
So Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose start fighting again, and it goes to a point, and where Roman Reigns has Dean Ambrose up for a Samoan drop, and the crowd goes nuts, and you see a wild Brock Lesnar come in and just suplex the shit out of Roman Reigns.
German suplex Roman Reigns while Roman Reigns is giving Dean Ambrose a Samoan drop. It was beautiful.
That was great. And at this point, I was like, this is amazing. And then...
The ending.
Okay, first of all, Roman Reigns breaking, holding up
Brock Lesnar
in the Kimura lock.
Please.
Really? I can suspend disbelief with John Cena.
You could hear the disgust when Roman Reigns was getting up. You were just going, boo!
I can suspend my disbelief with John Cena because we've seen him do it to everybody. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Roman Reigns, no.
It just doesn't work.
Dean Ambrose does the smart thing, finally realizes that, hey, this is a triple threat match. There's no rules. I can get a weapon. So he brings the chairs in. He beats the crap out of Brock Lesnar with it. Beats the crap out of Roman Reigns with it.
He hits him with a chair. He hits Roman Reigns with a chair 3 times. And then he hits Brock Lesnar and Brock rolls out.
He hits Brock Lesnar enough where... This is where the differences come in. Okay? Because Brock Lesnar is a beast that should never be beaten one-on-one. If it's fair, if it's one-on-one clean, whatever.
Just a straightforward
match. But Dean Ambrose is taking the initiative and beating the shit out of him so hard with a chair that he can't take it anymore, and he rolls out of the ring. Okay, Roman Reigns.
You see this in the background.
He hits him as hard as he can in the back 3 times with a chair. Okay. Roman Reigns gets up like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And you see
it in the background.
And Dean Ambrose is telegraphing this so hard. That's the only bad thing I could say about Dean Ambrose in this match was he telegraphed what was about to happen so hard. And the thing with Dean Ambrose was, as soon as he hit the dirty deeds, and before all this, as soon as he hit the dirty deeds and Roman Reigns kicked out, I was like, well, Dean Ambrose isn't winning. That's it. That's it for his chances. He hit his finishing move, Roman Reigns kicked out. Dean Ambrose is the one taking the pin.
Exactly.
I said this immediately. And he turns around. What pisses me off is one spear. One.
Mm-hmm.
Puts out Dean Ambrose for the 3 count. And I'm like, wait. That's it?
Yeah. One spear. And earlier you just see how right before Dean Ambrose turns around, they just have the shot. You just see Roman Reigns get up like it was nothing. And he's just like, oh look, it's the Super Mario Brothers Golden Star. Spear.
And you have never heard excitement turn to disgust so quickly.
Oh my God! Once Roman Reigns got that,
even when Daniel Bryan got eliminated in the Royal Rumble, that took a second for the crowd to realize exactly what happened. Before everything turned to disgust. This was immediate.
Hell, it didn't even get that quick of a reaction last year's Fastlane when Roman Reigns beat Daniel Bryan.
Because at least when Roman Reigns beat Daniel Bryan at Fastlane last year, it was organic.
This was
okay.
Not.
It was like spears were going left and right. Knockout knees were going left and right. Like it was earned. Mm-hmm. Okay, Roman Reigns defeating Daniel Bryan last year at Fastlane,
way better match,
was earned. Okay, this was a spear and done. What?
The best way to put it, like we were saying that this last year was so organic and it was natural. This one is just, you can tell it's WWE continuously. They don't care how much we as fans dislike what their project. They didn't care. They are so focused on pushing Roman Reigns to be the top babyface. They didn't care about us, how we would react. It's what they want. They didn't want to try and do a certain experiment and have the fan favorite in Dean Ambrose go on. Now, instead, we have the pet project in a main event no one gives a shit about.
Here's my thing, okay? I was fine with a Roman Reigns win, okay? I was fine with it, okay? Give me a better ending. Okay, this match was fantastic all the way through until that last minute. And where it goes, like, this was the match I was most invested in the entire card. Like, this was on the same level for most of it as the triple threat match at the Royal Rumble last year. For me. Mm-hmm. Like, it was on par with that greatness of Brock Lesnar versus Cena versus Rollins. It was on par. And then you give me that shit-tastic ending and bring it from here all the way down to here. You bring it from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows in 30 seconds. So it's like, we knew it was coming. We knew that Roman Reigns was going to win. We hoped differently, but we knew in the back of our minds, whether you wanted Dean Ambrose to win or not, you knew in the back of your mind, whether it was deep down or not, that Roman Reigns was coming out on top. Okay, but last year you knew as well. But at least it was organic. It made the match was so good, and that the finish was earned.
It's just
okay. This came out of nowhere. Like, Dean Ambrose is on a roll, beating the crap out of everybody. One spear, he's done. What? No.
It was abrupt and cheap.
It's just so bad when you have your top babyface. He won the match. Everyone hates it. The next night on Raw, you have your top heel completely destroy him,
and they're cheering the heel.
Are loving it. People are just like, good, get him out of here. Do it again. Pedigree him again on the steel steps. Do it one more time. One more time.
And also...
And then someone threw a beer at Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then beer happened.
And then a beer happened. Burr.
And then also, going off of this match, okay, Dean Ambrose needs to prove to me that he can beat. It's the same thing with last year when Roman Reigns had to prove that he could beat Brock Lesnar one-on-one before we even thought that Roman Reigns could pull it off. He had to prove. Dean Ambrose needs to prove to me. All that Dean Ambrose has proved to me right now in his quest to defeat Brock Lesnar is that he went to the Undertaker school of knowing just how to execute a low blow.
I will
okay,
say, I will say with Dean Ambrose, remember what I said during the awards at the end in December. Dean Ambrose is the only one left of the Shield that has to get that Superstar of the Year. And with just how this year has been looking for him from Royal Rumble till now, he is a shoo-in right now to getting that Superstar.
I say that Ambrose has the title by SummerSlam. Roman Reigns wins at WrestleMania. Okay, then you set up a triple threat match at SummerSlam between the Shield members because Seth Rollins will be back by SummerSlam, as far as I know.
I will,
and then that's when you pull the trigger on Dean Ambrose.
I will say this. I will say this to end my final saying on this match. That Dean Ambrose and Brock Lesnar is going to be for Dean Ambrose what Bret Hart and Stone Cold did for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Works for me.
Works for me.
Mm-hmm. And that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
And this is this main event at WrestleMania is going to be like the second John Cena versus The Rock.
Yes.
Okay, because if I remember correctly, where we were at for WrestleMania, you were at MetLife. Okay, where we were at, you were at Todd's.
I
For
believe
that,
I
right?
was, yes.
Was anyone paying attention to John Cena versus The Rock 2?
No,
I honestly don't remember.
I wasn't.
Exactly.
I was too hungover with Undertaker and CM Punk.
It's gonna be like that again. It's
People are gonna be hungover
like,
with Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose.
people are gonna be hungover with Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose, and with what we're gonna talk about in a
Backstage news. Yes.
backstage news.
Yes. So, you know what?
Final facial hair rating.
Final facial hair ratings.
This better be worst pay-per-view of the year, because I don't know how you can get worse than this. Okay,
I'll give it a peach fuzz.
It had two great matches, but there was too much shit. There was too much shit, and this is the first time in a long time that I have been legit angry enough to yell at the TV screen. So I'm going clean shaven.
That low, huh? Damn. Well, I will say that I did, when it comes to the majority of the matches, I enjoyed them, but there was, even though there were less negative things, they were huge things, and that's what definitely took down 3 points for me, and I'm going to second the fool, and I'm going to give this a peach fuzz. I was thinking about it earlier. I'm like, it's either a toss-up between classic goatee and peach fuzz, because, like I said, the matches I did enjoy, they were entertaining matches, like AJ Styles and Jericho, Kalisto and Del Rio, the opening match between Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch versus Naomi and Tamina. I'm like, oh, these were actually Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. They were great. They were good matches, but the bad stuff just completely was a big tidal wave, and it just overpowered the good.
Now,
So,
it
yeah,
could
peach
be...
fuzz.
My rating could be influenced by the stomach virus I was going through at the time of watching. Okay, but the good was good, not great, not fantastic. And the bad was the worst I've seen in a long time. Other than just nerfing the tournament at at the Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, this is the angriest I have been at a pay-per-view in years.
Well,
So that is what influences my clean shaven.
well, let's go ahead and go from your angriness to Jeff's angriness by peeking in behind the curtain and checking in on a little
Backstage news.
Yeah, you can tell from the tone of his voice he's not going to be very happy about this conversation.
Guess what? Meh.
Yeah.
That's his mindset right now.
I think Meh
Epic.
is being too nice.
Okay. I will
Hold on.
go epic meh.
Let's set the scene here. Let me speak for myself. We are, of course, talking about the return of Shane McMahon. Wow, what a moment. I'm not going to even deny that. That is huge. I mean, I think we can all agree on that part.
I can honestly say that as a whole, for me, that was the best segment I've seen in years.
Well, I will second Shane McMahon and say that entire moment gave me hard nipples.
Thank you for sharing, Pool.
Yes.
No problem.
Yes.
It had to. It honestly had to be said. As soon as they had that video of Shane said that it gave him chills and it gave him hard nipples, I'm like, I'm going to just reference that on Scholars.
And Shane.
Why?
And the best.
You know why.
The best
I
moment.
wish I didn't.
The best moment is when they're just standing in the ring, and that's the loudest I've heard a crowd. The crowd cheered louder for Shane McMahon than it has for anybody on the main roster.
And really, can you blame him?
Shane McMahon got the kind of pop that The Rock gets, that Stone Cold gets, that Daniel Bryan got, before he retired. Okay? That's when you know that, and the fact that he looked like he was about to start crying on screen before he went off.
Yeah, he was wiping away tears.
Before he went off, fuck you to Stephanie and Vince. I loved when Vince went in for the hug and Shane McMahon just like, nope. Mm-mm. And then he went for the handshake and Shane McMahon was like, still nope.
And what Shane McMahon said was phenomenal. Because
I haven't heard a verbal smackdown like that since...
Oh my god. He just tore basically what's wrong with WWE today. He just was... Hashtag truth.
They're playing this off like there's real life animosity here.
I'm sure that there is. I mean,
no, it's true. Like they're putting real life stuff into this feud, and it's gonna work like gangbusters. Except in your eyes. Go ahead.
Well, we'll get into that, but it just seemed like there was a real big pacing problem with this. Like, it's okay. There's obviously a lot of drama that's going into this angle.
It did take too long.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have the audience completely drowning them out most of the time. It's like, okay, we got to wait for them to calm down a bit so we can actually talk.
Well, it's not even a matter of that. Everyone was invested. It doesn't even matter. As long as people are invested, then it's okay. It can still work. But did anyone else notice a noticeable drop when, okay, it's going to be Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker? Honestly, in that moment I was expecting there to be like, okay, that can't be the real thing. They're going to renegotiate it. There's going to be some sort of twist. There's going to be more to it. And then everyone completely played it straight.
Well, I do believe that there's going to be a twist. Just, they wanted to get it out there right away. Like, this seems to me like it's a placeholder for when they know whether John Cena will come back for WrestleMania or not. But for me, there's still options they could go where this could work. For me personally.
I want to believe that. I really, really, truly do. But what really shocked me was, granted, we have so much time until WrestleMania. I'm convinced that that's where they're going to go with this. But for a while there, nothing happened. And they were playing it so straight where I thought that, wait, is this really their big plan for The Undertaker at WrestleMania? And it seemed like a lot of people were okay with it. And it blew my mind how anyone could think of this as a good idea. I mean, other than, sure, the excitement level of Shane McMahon coming back and the ability to see The Undertaker at WrestleMania, sure. But all I could think of was, who's the good guy? If Shane wins, then that means he just went over The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which I'm gotta believe that would make him a heel at that point. And not to mention you're in Texas at that point. Either that, or you have The Undertaker win, and you kind of soil everything you've been building up until WrestleMania for Shane McMahon. I just didn't see how it would work.
Here's where I think, okay, for me, it would work like this. If Shane McMahon were to win, obviously it couldn't be clean. It couldn't. It just couldn't. It would never work. Okay, so I thought up a plan where it could work for me in my head. Nothing might make this work for you. Okay, first of all, if Shane McMahon wins dirty, okay, I saw your Twitter rant.
Yes.
About it devaluing the people who have lost to him in the past. if Shane McMahon wins dirty with help, I don't think it does. Completely honestly, because he didn't. It wasn't fair. When it's fair, the Undertaker wins, unless it's Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar is a beast from hell. But so the way it would work for me, okay, Shane McMahon hires outside help. Okay, and then you get the debut of the Bullet Club.
Really? You're saying that's going to be from right there?
I thought of that.
You would get the debut of the Bullet Club, okay, and that also leads into a feud for the summer, because you bring Finn Balor up, okay, and they'll be after WrestleMania they'll be the face team. Okay, because at WrestleMania you go over the Undertaker, you get booed regardless. That's it. Especially in Texas. But you bring up Finn Balor. Whether it's with Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows at WrestleMania or the night after. You put AJ Styles with them. Have Shane McMahon at the head running Raw. Okay, and you get the new Bullet Club. Different name, of course. Mm-hmm. But that is how this match, if this match goes forward the way it is, that's how it would work for me if Shane McMahon was to win.
I that is such a great idea. I actually have a different idea of how the ending.
Or you could have the Undertaker win and shit not make sense at all.
Honestly,
if the Undertaker
sold on that.
If the Undertaker wins, what's the point? I agree with him. If the Undertaker's to win, what's the point of this whole thing to begin with?
Actually, I on the way here actually to record, I was actually thinking, how are they going to make this work? And how are they going to help? And how are they going to set it up in the long run? Well, I looked at it as we have, 5 more weeks now till WrestleMania?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see them, building it up to a point where it's obviously, if Shane wins, he owns Raw, which, that in its own, I actually am going to bring it up on Scholars Quick Talk. But from one thing, I can see Shane McMahon pulling off his Shane McMahon awesomeness in this match with Undertaker. Because, when it's going to be Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker, it's actually going to be pretty insane, because Shane is willing to do anything to make this match crazy.
Especially in a Hell in a Cell.
Especially in a Hell in a Cell. Now, the way I see it, because so much is on the line for Vince and Stephanie, I can see Vince and Stephanie getting involved, trying to cost Shane the match, and out comes the one person that was supposed to fight The Undertaker at WrestleMania, John Cena, going in to help Shane McMahon, because we all know how he feels against the Authority, and he pulls a Shawn Michaels and accidentally hits The Undertaker. And you see Undertaker fall to the corner, and he's temporarily out cold. John Cena will officially get heel heat, because people are saying we're gonna try and have him get a heel reaction, and Shane McMahon will use this to his advantage to do a coast to coast to gain him the win, and that will be set up for John Cena versus The Undertaker at next year's WrestleMania. Because no matter what happens, WWE wants to have John Cena versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And I think that could be a pretty good setup. And especially if John Cena is going to be starting to do a part-time position, him showing up at big events will actually benefit this feud, where he can show up the next night on Raw saying that wasn't supposed to happen, maybe show up once or twice to be involved, and then start taking a part-time position. And then at SummerSlam, you can start showing Undertaker's not in a forgiving mood. Like I said, pulling a Shawn Michaels Undertaker.
And I was thinking after this, okay, I should have known that something like this was coming, because The Undertaker's been working a lot the last year.
Working out? Yeah.
He's worked 4 pay-per-views. And the lead up. So I was like, okay, they're probably gonna give. I should have thought that they were gonna give him something later to do at the pay-per-view.
Oh,
like that. Not anything of what we were thinking to Kevin Owens, to John Cena, and especially now that the Undertaker has said straight up that he can go for a little while longer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
and apparently he's looking great.
Yeah, which if he's looking anywhere like he was last year's WrestleMania, good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's also for me personally. It's not that big a deal for me because once he lost at WrestleMania to Brock Lesnar, okay, it stopped being like this unsurmountable opponent at WrestleMania for me.
But even
I was like, so his match last year with Bray Wyatt was
a match.
It was a match. It was there. The build up was great, but I wasn't as excited for it as I was the previous years because of the fact that he's lost. But the mystique is gone. He's still the best WrestleMania person ever.
To the same level, sure, but there's still. Think of it this way: if this happens the way we were thinking it's going to happen, the 2 people to beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania will be Brock Lesnar and Shane McMahon.
But what
I'm not ready for that personally.
Okay, but what I'm saying...
Wow, you guys must have really hated my scenario. You both had, like, literally no reaction to it.
Well, the whole thing... The whole thing is... Okay, first of all...
I don't know.
First of all, I can't go further in on this until we hear what The Undertaker has to say on Raw when he shows up.
That actually gave me a little bit of comfort since if The Undertaker is showing up this soon, then he must have some sort of rebuttal. There is more story that needs to be revealed here, which gives me hope, to be fair.
And for me, okay, once he got that first loss out of the way to Brock Lesnar, it's one of those. Is Shane McMahon being one of the names to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania? It doesn't bother me if the right people interfere. For me, personally, if this is the impetus for the new Bullet Club to form, and now we have a stable of Shane McMahon's people, because this is the WrestleMania of the Authority getting their comeuppance.
But how could it be a comeuppance thing? How you're putting it, this seems so heelish for Shane McMahon that this whole build-up will just be, oh great, we're happy to see Shane. Oh, he's now a bad guy.
You know what? I think I just figured it all out. I got this. Imagine this. Just take a step back. Remember this. Shane McMahon goes into WrestleMania, okay? Undertaker comes out, bong, bong. Or right after Shane McMahon does it, money, 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 money. Okay, they do their thing. They square off. Shane McMahon still has a microphone in his hand. He's like, oh, what? You thought I was going to wrestle you alone? You know, I made a phone call. I brought in some friends. He just points to the ramp.
What, is it a bunch of WCW guys?
No, it's not a bunch of WCW guys.
The Bullet Club.
Even better. The Mean Street Posse come back.
Oh my God! I'm like, this is going to be... As soon as you were just about to start talking, I'm like, this is going to be an El Dandy moment. It's going to be an El Dandy moment.
The Mean Street Posse show up and beat The Undertaker.
Beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Greatest angle ever in the world.
Mean Street Posse. Yeah. Jesus
Honestly,
Christ.
in all seriousness, that one announcement of The Undertaker showing up on Monday Night Raw the next week that actually does give me some hope that we're not totally done here yet. It's not going to be totally cut and dry. I'm still going to wait and see, but still, I'm still skeptical.
This is basically our initial reaction to it. There's much more to come, where our feelings on this match and the storyline in general will come full circle. This is the McMahon family and the Undertaker. I don't believe that they will fuck that up. Okay.
I really hope not.
McMahon family, Undertaker, and WrestleMania.
Make something happen.
You
please.
will not and for me, okay, if this match is the impetus to get the Bullet Club in, for me personally, it's a win.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for me personally, might not be for everybody else, but if Shane McMahon is like, I need some help, because I'm facing off against the Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I know I have no chance to win, but if I hire out these guys, okay, I get in Finn Balor's ear. Okay, I bring AJ Styles to my side. At this point, he's the Intercontinental Champion in my fantasy league. And they all come out and assist. And Shane McMahon beats The Undertaker. And now you have a summer of Shane versus Vince. Which is with the throw off at SummerSlam, the next big pay-per-view. For me personally, that would work.
Hell, what would be really fantastic for me is if, back to the scenario, Shane McMahon has the microphone and says, yeah, it's a Hell in a Cell, but I really don't have to be the one that's wrestling you in this match. I know someone who would be more than happy to fight The Undertaker at WrestleMania in his WWE debut match. Out comes Shinsuke Nakamura versus The Undertaker.
If only.
Too soon for that.
For God's sake, you have the Mean Street Posse. We laugh at all. I joke around and say Shinsuke Nakamura. No. Yes, it was a joke.
I thought you were being serious.
I was being my El Dandy moment.
Well, it wasn't obvious.
Well, hold on. Shinsuke Nakamura is not jokes.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Like that's
I thought you were being
something.
serious.
That's something. Yes, I would want to see it immediately. But you have the caveat of him facing Sami Zayn the night before.
Yeah, it's
kind of
no.
But
you know what? Screw both of you. I had my fun El Dandy moment. You both have to turn around and say, that was.
How dare you compare Shinsuke Nakamura to El Dandy?
Wait a minute. Did I compare Shinsuke Nakamura to El Dandy?
You said it was your El Dandy moment.
No, I said it was my moment. That was me saying is it like El. It is not saying. I'm not comparing it.
Now.
Okay.
I see where you're going now.
Bring it down. My bad.
Me tired.
My bad. Okay.
We could clearly go on like this for hours. I can just tell it's going to become one of those things. I can just tell. So you know what? I'm just really, really grateful for the extra 4 or 5 weeks we still have left until WrestleMania. I'm pretty confident now that we're going to see something. We've got to.
We have to.
Yeah.
You can't just leave it a one-on-one Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker, because The Undertaker will beat his ass in 5 minutes.
Anyway. We've been at this for a while. We can continue to go on all night. Fool, before we head on out, do you have some Scholars Quick Talk for us?
I do have some Scholars Quick Talk. Just give me a second to pull out my phone, because that's where I usually keep my list.
Pull out his handy-dandy phone.
Stop it.
Handy dandy.
Okay. Yes. Here we go. With what we were just saying about Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker, and how Shane McMahon specifically said he wanted control of Raw. So a lot of people have been talking. Could this be a sign of the return of the WWE brand split?
I think it looks strong.
It sounds like it's going to happen. I don't want it to happen because the roster is too thin.
Oh, that's where the Scholars Quick Talk comes in. Would a new brand split hurt the WWE?
I believe so. I believe at this...
I don't know.
At this specific moment, the roster is too thin.
It depends on the execution. I really can't say one way or the other.
All right, next one. Before, we were talking about how our complete disgust with the booking of the Wyatt family this past pay-per-view, and now with Bray Wyatt's match with Brock Lesnar completely tossed into the garbage. How would you book the Wyatt family for WrestleMania?
Oh boy, that is not a scholar's quick
that
talk.
Is not
I'm
quick.
Need some time to think about this.
I honestly
all these injuries. I don't know.
I honestly don't know where you could go with the Wyatt family. They fucked with them so bad at the pay-per-view. I'm worried we're just gonna see them in the Battle Royal, and that's gonna be a travesty. But I don't. With how badly you just failed, with how badly the WWE just failed, I don't know where you could go with the Wyatt family for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm going to need some time to think about that. That's not an easy answer.
And lastly, because they introduced this whole Vincent J. McMahon award just so they can have it be the return for Shane McMahon, do we ever see the Vincent J. McMahon award again?
No.
Not in the same fashion. Not remotely. No.
All right. Then that's it for Scholars Quick Talk.
All right. Whew. Dang, we covered so much distance. Oh, boy. But you know what?
And most of it was angry.
Most of it was anger, yeah.
But you know what? We're only 3 out of a big collective here. So we want to know what you think. Drop us a line on any of the usual methods. Leave us a little comment on this video. Like it if you like what you hear. Subscribe if you want to see more. What
More. Aha.
Subscribe if you want to see more. And if you don't like what you hear, please don't thumbs down this video, because otherwise you're just a big, mean, poopy face.
I don't think there's anyone else on YouTube that used the term mean, poopy face for someone who unlikes their videos.
Scholar exclusive right there.
Hashtag
mean, poopy face.
Yes.
Of course, you can also find us on the Facebooks. Just search for the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Look for our happy, smiling faces. And, of course, you can also follow us on the Twitter machines. You can follow our main page at ScholarsOW. Fool, where can I reach you?
I'm at the Avataric.
Brian?
And I am at Atomic Beanpole.
And I'm Robbie Rage, all one word. Follow us, engage us, follow us live tweets, follow my angry rants, whatever you got. It's a ton of fun. Join the conversation. Boom.
Because he was on a roll on Monday. It was glorious.
Oh, yes, I was.
It was just nonstop. Hashtag, this is stupid.
Oh, yes. But in the meantime, it continues on. You know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
Go Shane-O!